This is the SHIB coin 1 month overview reading for the month of December 2023. It's currently October 19th, 2023, 1:22 p.m. Eastern time. SHIB coin at the time of this reading is currently 0.00006751. That's 5 zeros after the decimal point, followed by a 6751, and that's USD. And the shuffle file that we're about to play for you for the December reading was created on October 8th, 2023 at 10:26 p.m. Eastern time. That's this video down here in the corner. The overall theme and behavior for the month of December is an overbought peak or crest that we sell off from pretty notably through multiple support levels. It's crossed with multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. Behavior around the highest high, we have 3 pokes through the same price level followed by a sharp drop off of that third poke. That price level is usually a horizontal resistance. Occasionally it's at an angle like a trend line acting as resistance, but usually it's horizontal. Sharp drop off of that third poke. Big move out of the lowest low, pushing the upper end of a multi-range higher. Now, before we get into where the highs and the lows are to the day, as well as the day-by-day chart behavior and the best trades that we see, I want to make sure everybody's aware of the whole purpose of this channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. I was a Wall Street broker once, believe it or not, and I had a near-death experience while on Wall Street, not right on Wall Street at the time, but I had a near-death experience while I was a Wall Street broker, and I found myself with my third eye blown wide open, and I was like, what am I doing here? I don't belong here. I never belonged here. How did I get here? There's a purpose for it. I figured it out. The purpose was to transmute the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. Imagine if everybody that put their energy into the stock market transmuted that energy into goodwill around the world. My God, what a wonderful world it would be. It is, but it'd be even better. So we can do some of that, my friends, and we do that by following the rule of karma for the channel, which is the unwritten agreement between the universe and anybody utilizing this information for profit. Follow the rule of karma here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, where 5% of the profits that you make from this information should be donated forward to one of these charities. Click here and donate, and 5% of the profit should be donated back to the channel through one of these links here. If you're international, use WISE, and we're also adding Zelle to this list. That leaves you with 90% of the money. Make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you're an angel investor of the channel. The universe is going to send it back to you tenfold for following through on that rule of karma, my friends. Neglect to follow through on the rule of karma. Be warned, guys. It's the universe who's got this channel's back. The universe will not allow this information to be used for personal gain without also benefiting others. So you must follow through. Every time you profit from this information, follow through, or the universe will shut you off from the flow of abundance through this channel post haste. It's not me doing it, it's the universe. I promise you it'll happen, so don't be that guy. With that said, you've also effectively transmuted competitive energy into goodwill. By donating forward, you've guaranteed abundance mentality. By donating backwards, you've guaranteed gratitude mentality. And by keeping your conscience clear by spending out of love, you've effectively created the components necessary to continue manifesting wealth for yourself. Abundance mentality, gratitude mentality, and a clear conscience. All right, guys, let's get into it. So as far as the first lowest low, so I think we have a lowest low thus far around the first second. It might be the morning. It might be the morning of the second. It's the lowest low thus far. There's a significant drop into a low on the first, and then in the morning on the second, we have a trough, an important trough early in the day. Multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance and a lot of price change there. An important technical price level on the third is highlighted, and that's important on like a 1-year scale. And it looks like we probably moved to the upside from the trough on the second in the morning. We moved significantly to the upside into the end of the day of the second. There's a trade opportunity there in the midst of the high. Won't be at the end of the day for the second. It'll be before the end of the day, but probably later in the day there. We want to close out of that long position that we would open at the trough for a day trade, or you could possibly hold it for the fourth. It might be a little risky, but in any case, on the third, prominent price level important on a 1-year scale, another important trough, and then it looks like we may go into even lower lows on the morning of the fourth. It's around the third, fourth, even lower lows there. So that'll be our lowest low thus far. And there's a lot of volatility on the fourth, a sharp drop in that period of volatility, an important resistance level highlighted near a low towards the end of the day. And it looks like there's also a prominent peak in there. I don't think it's on the fourth. I think it's probably on the third with that science card, but it could be on the fourth. In any case, there's a prominent peak for the month and then back into troughs there. On the sixth, sideways, bumping along resistance sideways, maybe breaking through, but bumping along sideways. Another trough towards the end of the day that'll stand out. On the sixth, when we meet that important price level on a 1-year scale, provided that it's acting as resistance, I would open up a short position there and close that short position in the morning on the fourth. So the bumping along resistance on the fifth turns into a rally along a diagonal trend line somewhere between the fifth and the sixth, and that rally along the diagonal trend line ends with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down, taking us into the seventh where we have a significant trade opportunity. It looks like it's mixed. There's a day trade there in the midst of a notable move higher on a 1-day chart for the seventh. So on a 1-day chart, sideways rotation establishing support, big move higher, sideways rotation establishing support at a higher price level. And by big move higher, I mean standing out on a 1-day chart. When we meet that higher price level that we do sideways rotation at, I would enter into a short position there, and then I would close that short position. Yeah, I would close that short position when we have a decline back down to an important support level that we'll revisit on at least a 1-day scale. So we'll probably have seen it at the beginning of the day before the big move higher. And if not, then it was the trough from the 6th. That day trade on the 7th is a little tricky, guys. So it might be the other way around. We might have a trough in the beginning of the day where we revisit support on a 1-day chart and then a big move higher. So I would say if we move to the downside at the beginning of the day, then we want to open up a long position in anticipation of that wealth move. If we move to the upside at the beginning of the day, I would want to open up a short position in the midst of a hermit move down to revisit a support level there. Again, this is a day trade. Matter of fact, let's take a look at October and see how we're doing thus far for SHIB coin. All right, so we had a highest high on the 3rd round, missed it by a day, and then we had another prominent peak or possible highest high on the 6-7. It doesn't look like that came true, but we did nail the second, third, and the fact that we got highs early in the month. And then we go down into lowest lows, trough there, a double X right there on the 8th. I should have noticed that. That's a lowest low, but then we go further into, we should see a lowest low on the 20th, which is tomorrow, and thus far, it really does look like we're leading up to that lowest low there. The 19th, which is today, was a notable move to the upside, and then we have lowest lows tomorrow. So this is looking really solid, guys. In the paid version, I instructed opening up a partial short and maybe another short over here in anticipation of a decline into the 20th. You definitely would have made money, guys. You would have made some money. You would have made some significant money. So you can see this is, and there's more than that trade involved for the paid version, guys. What you get in the paid version are all of the trades, all the chart behavior, all of the highs and lows, as well as we look at the possible relevant trades on a 1-year scale, trades on a multi-year scale if relevant, and we're going to look at 2024 a little bit since it's the December reading. If there's any price level information that we're able to extrapolate, that goes in the paid version as well. So the way that you get the paid version, guys, it really is a great way to support the channel. Go to our services, SO Meta Posts, scroll down to monthly subscription, click here, subscribe to SHIB. And guys, it's $111 a month. You would make that back and some in one good trade. You know, so this is how you support the channel. The people that have paid monthly subscriptions are really the core foundation of support for our channel. So thank you very much to those of you that go ahead and do that. I know all of you guys by name.